Welcome back. You're with the 2:30 factor here on NDTV Profit. Still holding firm on Dalal Street with, some gains being eroded, but nevertheless, nice day, tidy day. A 0.9% up on the Nifty right now. I think this is a good time to focus away from the markets onto a market-sensitive transaction. There have been media reports about a potential stake sale in Gitanjali Gems to LVMH's private equity arm, which is L Capital. Well, we have confirmation now that L Capital Asia, which is the private equity fund focusing on the Indian and Chinese markets, is indeed in advanced talks with the Gitanjali Group. Let's hear it on record from Ravi Thakran, Managing Partner, L Capital Asia. That's one hat that he wears, apart from another one at the LVMH Group. Ravi, thanks very much for your time. Great to have you here on NDTV Profit. I'm going to talk about Gitanjali in a moment, but congratulations. L Capital Asia has been launched now. The news hounds always want to know what's the appraisal pipeline looking like in India. I'm sure you have a lot of proposals already with you. Are there any you can share with us, any ideas you can share with us in terms of potential investments for you?
Well, it has so happened that a couple of things have already been talked about media, even though we had not even signed term sheets with them. So that's how sometimes things come up. But typically, fashion certainly will be down our alley, because that's a business that we know well, and we are talking already to a couple of leading fashion designers. We are talking to some of the fashion retailers in the country. We are talking to a couple of jewelry players. We are talking also to a couple of the players in spa and the beauty business. But again, we are really at stage one of our play. We've just launched the fund closed in December. We've just built our team. We've just welcomed a gentleman called Sanjay Gujral, who comes from Everstone, to lead our fund here. Going forward, we'll be looking at widening our net much more and reaching out to all the companies in this field that I talked about.
You referred to it, Ravi, so don't hold me guilty. The media reports are about exclusive talks between L Capital and, in one of India's biggest jewelry retailers, Gitanjali. Can you confirm that talks are on?
I can confirm, yes, that we are discussing and we are at advanced stage of due diligence on this deal. However, I am bound by the non-disclosure agreement, so can't give much detail. But yes, it's correct that we have been talking to Gitanjali and are presently undergoing due diligence on that company.
Is there a timeline that you can share with us in terms of when the deal is likely to be done by?
Yeah, I would say we certainly would take a decision on that in a month or so.
Okay, I'll take a shot. You can say no comment, but are we talking about a $100 to $125 million transaction in the context of Gitanjali?
Yes, it is correct.
Prashant also joining in here. Your approach usually is to play the role of a navigator once you've invested in a company. So it's fair to assume that in the case of Gitanjali, you will not take any executive position or role. Can we assume that?
Absolutely, but at the same time, in a case like this, and again, basically taking this just as an example, we always encourage the entrepreneurs to bring in professional CEOs, professional CFOs, professional marketing professionals or retail professionals. And we try to hardwire these kind of things right in the beginning when we are looking, because we don't want these to become a big debate thereafter. And good news here is most of the entrepreneurs see that as a great value. They in fact believe that with us coming in as an investor, their ability to attract better talent will also get enhanced. And therefore, today, yes, as a leader will remain the entrepreneur, but at the same time, we are able to bring in better talent with obviously mutual consent and selecting them together.
I know you probably wouldn't want to talk about a deal which is under the works right now, but what would be a fair sort of price to do this deal, benchmark, or what's the approach you'd like to take? The listed stock, so the market price would be the starting point, one would assume. Just talk about that if you could.
Well, on that arena, I'll be treading on to the whole disclosure arena, and I would refrain from mentioning anything on that arena. But as I mentioned, within 30 days or so, you will certainly hear completely about this deal.
Okay, only fair. I just want to understand your thought process. Why Gitanjali? What do you like about the business? They're a dominant player, but just trying to understand, how do you pick and choose a business like Gitanjali? Because you've got other players as well in that same space, or even, in the consumer space, if you want to play India consumption.
Look, for us, we believe that jewelry is an important segment in Indian context. It is a very high growth segment. It has been an integral part of the psyche of Indian consumer. It will always remain a high growth segment. And in this segment, if you look at the players, on one hand, we have a super professional and extremely well-run company like Tanishq, which is owned by Titan Group. And I've had the honor of being part of that team in its early days, and still, remember those days with the phenomenal goodness in heart. But at the same time, if you look at the rest of the space, most of the jewelry business is fragmented, with families owning very small businesses. Some of these have remained as family jewelers. Some have gone further from that to open 8, 10, 20 stores. But still, most of the business are sub $100 million category. Gitanjali sits somewhere in the middle. It is a company which is not as professional. Again, pardon me, Mr. Choksi, for saying those kind of things, but basically a company which is not at the same level as Tanishq and Titan are in terms of professionalism, in terms of distinct product identity, the brand identity, etc. But at the same time, it already has scale. Now, if we can come in and really add a lot of value to a company like that and bring those elements to them, certainly therefore that much more opportunity for that company to grow. And obviously capital markets, like they honor an asset like Titan, Tanishq so beautifully today, they will certainly honor this kind of asset once we have done our job well.
Thanks very much, sir, for talking to us, confirming that you are indeed talking to Gitanjali for picking up a significant minority stake in the company. Announcement, of course, we'll wait for that, for that official announcement, price, how's the deal structured, how much are you putting in, etc., etc. But we got a basic indication of what you're looking at. Gitanjali, James, let's go back to that stock. While we were talking to the potential investor, the stock moved up 0.5% plus. It was actually off. It was down. But you can see that it's a big 230 factor positive from the lows, 236 in the stock. 3-4 months back, stock was almost at about 400 plus in November, and then the market fell from about 6,300 or so, the high, and the stock also fell down to almost half, 236, but now starting to pick up a little bit. That's Gitanjali for you. Dominant player in its space, in its area of operation.
Tomorrow, that's a wrap on the 230 Factor, this edition.
Thanks very much for watching. News 2020 comes right up.